What does it do? Hey everybody, welcome to WCAX Extra. This is our live desk streaming show that kicks off every day around 9:15. We're a few minutes late today, just kind of getting everything set up. But as far as today goes, talking about some affordability concerns, I guess coming down the pike, especially for in the State House, for property taxes and climate regulations. And of course, there's no better man to talk about these things than our very own Calvin Cutler. Calvin, thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Happy to.
And I know you were there yesterday at the press conference at 1, Governor Scott's press conference. So kind of just dive into it here. I know there's some big decisions ahead of the next legislative session, especially for climate regulations in schools and the like. So let's start with that, with climate regulations. And this, you had mentioned there's a landmark thermal energy bill, and not everyone is too thrilled about that.
Certainly. And I just wanted to back up just a quick second. So back in 2020, as many Vermonters and many viewers know, the legislature overrode Governor Phil Scott's veto on the Global Warming Solutions Act, which sets strict benchmarks, requirements into state law of needing to reduce our thermal and emissions from from our homes, from how we travel around in transportation, and really requirements of cutting carbon. We have strict deadlines we have to adhere to, and the first one is coming up in 2030. That said, so to achieve those goals, the state has to implement policies to try to reduce pollution. One of the biggest ones, about a third or so of Vermont's greenhouse gases come from how we heat our homes and our businesses, from home heating oil, kerosene, fuel oil, etc. And so several years ago, I think it was in 2021, there was something called the Clean Heat Standard, which state lawmakers first floated, which essentially would create a clean heat credit marketplace and make it more expensive to heat with fossil fuels over time, with the aim of trying to wean Vermonters off of fossil fuels and instead heating with cold climate heat pumps, weatherization, investing in more eco-friendly forms of home heating. But the biggest question really lingering and why this policy did not make it across the finish line in the first place, and why in some ways it's been sort of piecemealed this time around in terms of passing the policy. Then the PUC has been building the rules and exploring the cost, and then in January the state legislature will have to give it the thumbs up or the thumbs down once they see what the program entails. But the biggest question has been the cost. What will this cost the state of Vermont to conduct all of these actions to generate a clean heat credit, and what will be the cost to to the gallon of fuel oil for Vermonters? And there was a study that was recently issued late last week from the Public Utility Commission. An independent study showed that over 25 years, to try to meet the requirements of the Global Warming Solutions Act, it would cost Vermonters just shy of about $10 billion to implement a clean heat standard. We still don't know what that will cost in terms of the price of a gallon of home heating oil. There's still a lot of unanswered questions there, but Governor Phil Scott has raised concerns about this policy all along, and he took the time during his press conference this week to really raise alarm bells about the cost to Vermonters, being able to pull it off in terms of workforce and having the right people to install cold climate heat pumps and ramp up that workforce, and also just other lingering questions about who is an obligated party under the clean heat standard? How much is a clean heat credit? Who regulates them? There's still, from the governor and his team's perspective, there's still quite a few unanswered questions, and we really heard him come out swinging against it. Of course, this is going to be a major issue come the beginning of the legislative session in January.
Yeah, it sounds very skeptical as far as just putting it into practice. And another thing, and I know you are very, very familiar with this next one is cost of like school spending and the raise and property taxes. And a pretty jarring thing here. I'm just looking through the notes I have from this morning was we're looking now after about a 14% tax property tax hike from this past time, and now it's estimated to go up again. That's for 7% if that's flat spending, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So last year, just to kind of rewind a little bit too, about a third of school budgets failed on town meeting day, in part because there was about $200 million in new school spending statewide. As you know, we create our school budgets at the local level. They're made by your local school boards and superintendents. Local town meeting day voters vote on them, and then the state lawmakers create the yield bill, which it's paid out of the statewide education fund. So there really is, what you do on the local level in each locality, in each school district, will determine the size and the scope of the yield bill and your statewide property taxes on average. Although it's worth noting, what you pay really depends on the valuation of your home, depends on what your local yield is, what your local tax rate is, the common level of appraisal. I mean, it's very complex as to what goes into it. But on average, statewide, it was about 14.8% last year. And so earlier this week, I believe on Monday, Governor Phil Scott and his administration sent out a letter to local school boards. They are just now, in September here, they are just now beginning the process of drafting and creating what their school budgets are. Will they be making investments in infrastructure, increased student mental health, hiring new staff, meals, nutrition? I mean, there's still a lot of ongoing needs within schools, and so they're just now beginning to build their budgets. But the Scott administration was crunching some numbers, and they were estimating, factoring in the one-time funds that we spent as a state last year to help try to buy down the property tax from, it was supposed to be about 18%. As I said, they got it down to about 14. But so factoring in the one-time money we have last year, plus expected double-digit commercial insurance rate hikes that are currently in front of the Green Mountain Care Board, because the cost of healthcare is also continuing to rise as our demographics and our pool of payers is continuing to shrink. Those two factors just alone potentially are causing a 7% increase in school spending, or 7% increase in forecasted property tax rates. And that's not including any new spending, any not factoring in what schools are going to do. So that just, I think, goes to show we are potentially coming into another really contentious school budget season here. This, of course, was a major issue during the last session. Lawmakers did bring down that rate a little bit, and they did create a commission on the future of public education, which is expected to make short-term to medium-term recommendations for cost containment, this coming December. But in terms of these bigger questions of are we going to change the funding formula? What will that look like? Will that run up to the Brigham decision, which is sort of the North Star as to why we have the funding formula that we do right now? Those are all bigger questions that potentially could be, answered in 1 to 2, maybe 3 years. But the question is, how long will Vermonters continue to see increased property tax rates as well, until changes are made? And how do we continue, in this context, to make it affordable and efficient, but deliver the same, the same results, the same funding, for kids and for education, and make sure that it's done equitably as well, for both more affluent school districts and more disadvantaged school districts too. So it's a real big puzzle that we're continuing to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks, again, to be just another another long, very long session ahead of you. But Calvin, of course, you again did this yesterday, and probably speaking more eloquently than I am right now. So I'll pull your story from yesterday, and we'll let you go on this morning. I know you have probably a pretty difficult day or a long day ahead of you. So I'll let you go. But
awesome.
Thanks so much. And I know Montpelier. What is it? You and I just talked about it before.
Taste of Montpelier. Yeah, you bet. That kicks off today. Yeah. Well, we can plug it here. So today starts later today at Caledonia Spirits over at Bar Hill. 4th annual Taste of Montpelier, which is a really big celebration. Last year it was sort of Montpelier's like we are reopening after the floods. This year though they're really continuing to focus on local art, food, street vendors. There's going to be restaurants and food vendors from Montpelier, but really all over central Vermont that are going to be on Main Street and Langdon Street as well. They're going to have it shut down. It's a big street party, and the weather's supposed to be really beautiful for it this weekend as well. Yeah. So it should be an awesome time in Montpelier.
Yeah, guys, and we'll have more on that and tonight, of course. And I don't know, get yourself something good to eat too on the way out. I don't know, day out of the office. Anyway, Calvin, thanks so much, and we'll air that now in a sec.
Thank you.
All right, see you. Yeah, that was our Calvin Cutler there, talking about some concerns coming from the Skate House, and as far as what's going on in some state government. We will pull this up in just a sec here. Let's see.
And education property tax reform are two big issues that we've tracked for years. And this week, Governor Phil Scott says that Vermonters can't afford where we're heading. Vermont's governor says a landmark thermal energy bill years in the making, which is yet to be voted on by lawmakers, is proving to be too complex and costly, much like healthcare reform was a decade ago.
From my perspective, this is starting to look a lot like single payer.
Lawmakers overrode Scott's veto on the Clean Heat Standard, a program designed to wean Vermonters off of fossil fuels and instead invest in more eco-friendly forms of home heating, like heat pumps and biofuels. Questions of the cost to consumers for implementing the new program have sparked political acrimony, but now we have more clarity. According to a new study published by the Department of Public Service, a potential clean heat standard designed to meet the requirements of the Global Warming Solutions Act over the next 25 years would take investments to the tune of just shy of $10 billion.
There's still many unanswered questions, like who actually pays for what?
Governor Scott and his team say shortages of contractors to pull it off is another concern.
Only 3 states in the nation are even thinking about this. Why does Vermont have to be first?
But some say Scott's concerns are misplaced because changing the way we heat our homes and businesses will be a net positive to the economy.
This study is saying the benefits of doing that, $12 billion in benefits, outweigh the costs by $3 billion over the next 25 years.
Jared Duval serves on Vermont's Climate Council and is with the Energy Action Network. He says many aren't focusing on the long-term savings of ditching fossil fuels, adding, "We still don't know what that will do to the price of a gallon of fuel oil. That will come in a study due in December."
We have to have an honest, fact-based conversation and not be distracted by made-up numbers from the fossil fuel industry and their lobbyists.
The Scott administration is also raising red flags about the upcoming school budget season and another potential looming education property tax spike. In a letter to school boards this week, Scott's team estimates that even if school districts keep spending flat, it's estimated that Vermont could see a 7% average property tax hike after this year's 14% increase.
We have to prepare ourselves for what's going to happen in the not-too-distant future, when we put out another December 1st letter, that will probably show another increase.
A key commission is expected to make recommendations on short and long-term education cost containment strategies before the session in January. Now, these are just two big issues which will be coming down the pike when the legislature reconvenes in January. However, it remains to be seen whether the political leanings of the legislature will shift after voters take to the polls in November. Reporting in Montpelier, Galvin Cutler, Channel 3 News.
Again, you can see that story on WCAX.com. A lot to unpack there, of course. I want to say, too, Peter, I think I have that tie.
You just said that.
I think I totally have this tie, by the way.
You also said the same thing during the morning show.
I know.
I think we went to that story, and then you're like, I think Calvin stole my tie.
I think he does. I think it's probably in my desk somewhere, but unless he drove down in the middle of the night from Montpelier and then took it, but I doubt it. Anyway, great tie. As far as today goes and this weekend goes, we're still. I don't even have to ask you because I know. The thing is, at this point, it's just been sunny. It's been nice out, and Peter's bored.
I'm bored. My forecast is genuinely just a broken record at this point.
Copy paste, yeah.
I'm saying the same thing for each and every day.
It's gonna be a beautiful day, though. It's gonna be a beautiful day today. This whole weekend too.
Yeah.
So, and I know we had discussed. Calvin and I talked about the event in Montpelier.
Yep.
There's a Rutland Whoopie Pie Festival.
Yep.
There's Dancing with the Pearly Stars. A lot to do this weekend, and a lot to great weather for it.
A lot going on, and you really could not ask for much better weather-wise. As a matter of fact, we'll pull up satellite and radar right now. Again, you can see, you guessed it, clear skies overhead. We zoom out, basically much of the northeast and all the way out towards the Great Lakes, basically contending with these clear skies overhead, and that's going to mean more sunshine today, and we really keep this sunshine going here for the foreseeable future. This was supposed to show you the Burlington waterfront. That is clearly not happening right now, but nonetheless, it is 65 degrees right now in the Queen City.
It's dark out, huh?
It's very dark out, I guess. Winds calm. Temperatures elsewhere. Here's how we're starting off the day. 50s and 60s out there right now. Most of us are going to find our way back into the mid and upper 70s and lower 80s here as we head towards this afternoon. Again, the day on Futurecast, not looking too bad out there. There is maybe the stray outside chance at a hit or miss rain shower here and there, especially across the far eastern portions of the area, but again, really most of us stay dry. Really most of us talking a good amount of sunshine today. Into your day tomorrow, again, basically more sunshine here as we head through the course of the day tomorrow. Again, the highly isolated chance at maybe a hit or miss rain shower here and there. Again, most of us should stay primarily dry. We've rolled the clock forward right into the day on Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. Again, more dry time, more sunshine. You probably noticed that smoke and that haze in the atmosphere here through the course of the day yesterday. You can see gradually as we head through the course of the day today, those quantities start to lessen just a bit. That continues here into the day on Saturday as well. But again, nonetheless, there could be a little bit of a haze to the atmosphere again through the course of the day today. The good news, again, high enough in the atmosphere where we're not concerned about air quality concerns. Dew points, they're going to start to inch back up into the 60s, so becoming a bit more noticeable here as we head into the weekend. But again, definitely really not humid by any means either, and temperatures definitely warming up quite nicely. Plenty of sunshine out there for both Saturday and Sunday. Daytime highs upper 70s, low to mid 80s. Today we'll talk daytime highs mid to upper 70s, lower 80s out there, mainly sunny skies overhead. Again, a few clouds maybe mixing in here and there. Again, the outside chance it may be a highly isolated rain shower, but most of us stay dry tonight. Overnight lows, they fall back into the 50s and 60s, mainly clear skies overhead. Again, a few areas of fog start to develop here as we head into tomorrow morning. Through the rest of your day on Saturday, we'll see daytime highs climb back into the upper 70s and 80s. Yep, you guessed it, lots of sunshine and lots of sunshine here through basically the entirety of the 7-day forecast. As a matter of fact, when I put together the 7-day forecast this morning, I don't know if you can tell, but I used the same icon for every day because that basically sums up what we are going to see every day. Temperatures basically upper 70s, low to mid 80s. Those overnight lows, you can see upper 50s and 60s. It genuinely was a really kind of comical forecast to put together. It's copy paste.
Must be nice. Must be easy.
Oh yeah.
But I just want to mention too that you and I are going to have a a fun weekend this weekend.
Yeah.
Now you are headed down to
Yep.
the Rutland Whoopie Pie Festival.
We're going to have 3/4 of the weather team down there, actually. Me,
Oh, yeah,
Jess,
yeah. Yeah,
Gary. Yep, we
I
will
had to do
all
some
be
math
down
for-
there.
I had to do some math for that. Okay. Yeah, no, it'll be a lot of fun.
Yep.
I think we'll take a station car, take a little road trip.
Yep.
and It'll be good. I think I'm going to eat too much whoopie pie, and if you find me, just make sure
Oh.
I'll be alive. It's fine.
I was going to ask today, like, how many flavors of whoopie pie is it bad to come home with? Because
I did see it. So there's obviously the normal one.
Yep.
But I've seen the stuff from last year, and I talked to people
Yeah.
who had been years prior and all that, and there's some crazy ones. There's they put sprinkles around the rim, and it's I'm very excited.
Because I have an odd feeling, like, I'll walk around and be like, ooh, chocolate chip, yes. Ooh,
Yeah.
red
Yeah, yeah,
velvet,
yeah.
yes.
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I spoke to one of the guys running it
Yep.
a few days ago.
Yeah.
And he said it's just like a ton of fun. They
Yeah.
have people come out, and there's live music. There was like Star Wars costume people and the Ghostbusters and all that kind of. I was like, wow, this is something. So
And don't forget about the hopefully record-breaking whoopie pie.
yeah, it's technically a work event, but it's like, oh, go hang out with Star Wars characters and eat whoopie pies all day. Don't make me.
no,
No, please. So it'll be a lot of fun. Come say hi to us. You can see us. We're handing out some stickers
Yep.
and magnets, and be at our little booth there. So
Yeah.
it'll be a lot of fun. And also that same day, Lois Borden is dancing.
Yes.
Dancing with the Burlington Stars as a Burlington Star.
Yep.
So be a lot of fun. It's all for good cause too. So she told me I think she's going to do a quadruple front axle backflip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is pyrotechnic. It'll be a lot of fun. It's very impressive. So we're really proud of her. So come out both things.
Yeah.
Great time this weekend.
Yeah.
But until then, we'll Peter and I will see you at noon.
Yep.
And then of course you can see all of our content on WCAX.com. And enjoy your day, guys.
Yeah.
Be a great weekend.